ENG 213 Forms of Literature 3 Drama. Section 1 Introduction. If the theater is where actual performance in drama takes place and has had so much influence on human civilization for more than 25,000 years, then dramatic literature, which is drama in literary expression, serves as facilitator in understanding and appreciating drama as a significant and viable field of study. Dramatic literature, in the contemporary application of the term as we have adopted here, involves a scholarship of literary criticism that has its emphasis in drama. Literary criticism is, however, of two types: the prescriptive and descriptive. In the former, the critic pontificates and tells the reader what he thinks and believes a given drama text must be. He relies more on speculations and or existing literary canons. He may even revolve his own theory or set of theories. In the latter, however, critic attempts an explanation of the form in which a given text drama is written. The practice of literary criticism dates back to the time of Plato and Aristotle. Plato's The Republic and Aristotle's Poetics are both prescriptive. In the classical times also, Aristophanes, a classical playwright, in his comedy introduced a novel dimension to the business of textual and nautical criticism through purely creative writing, as evident in The Frogs. His criticism in this regard is less prescriptive and largely descriptive. Suffice it to say that each art form usually determines the criticism specific to it. In other words, the criticism of drama text requires a specialized comprehensive activity, in which case there must be a comprehensive account of the historical development and trends, the different critical schools and their ideological alignments, leading playwrights whose works embody or represent the spirit of their respective ages, and a careful selections from the pool of great drama works. All of this and more will be required to engage your mind in the study. Furthermore, the choice of an appropriate mode of a critic is equally important in the general businesses of criticism of drama texts. Mode in this case implies an institutional and or social context for the practice of criticism. Drama, as a field of study, serves as an arbiter of taste and a veritable stimulant that of necessity catalyses the creative sensibilities in students of drama who otherwise might not have been aware of the tremendous critical as well as creative potentialities which they possess. This way, dramatic literature ensures the continuation of literary creativity and at the same time pushes further the frontier of knowledge, particularly of the past and contemporary dramatic trends and practice in world drama. It is also capable of speculating on what the dramatic culture is likely to be in the near future. Our efforts in this study shall be partly informed by the significance of drama, its literature and scholarship, some of which we have highlighted above, and partly too by the non-availability and inaccessibility of relevant materials on the subject in most African universities and colleges. It is in this regard that I have made this comprehensive and yet handy course material available to students of drama or dramatic literature in particular and lovers of drama in general. Ideas about the origin of drama. The dominant school of thought is that drama arose from ritual. This is because in ritual there is enactments with mystical significance and dramatic elements such as costuming, impersonation, songs and music, dialogue, spectacle, and so on. This view is further strengthened by the factor of aesthetic distance that has emerged over time. People started to enjoy the dramatic elements irrespective of the ritual purposes they were originally meant to serve. The aesthetic distance is believed to have come about through the cultural interaction of the different peoples of the world over time. Consequently, the ritual significance became forgotten, giving way to enactments, drama only. Thus, enactments only came to be accepted as a result of the general public appreciation of the unique and memorable player which they gave. This development later led to specialization and professionalization of such area of enactments as acting, singing, drumming, etc. Classical Greece. Development in drama seems to have lent weight to the above view. For example, according to Frank M. Witten, 1969-12, religion in classical Greece had something to do with the development of drama. Between 500 BC and 400 BC, the very pattern of historical events at Marathon, Thermopylae, Salamis, and Platae, the Greeks in the early years had fought against overwhelming odds and had emerged with enduring military success. Consequently, they had developed a friendly, personal, human attitude towards their gods. They had emphasized in their attitude 1 year rather than the year after, an attitude that called for expression, not repression. The century has given the world Athens 4 great playwrights: Achilles, Sophocles, Euripides, and Aristophanes. It is therefore expected that the classical Greek religious ceremonies be in worship of a complex and imperfect god, Dionysos. Dionysos was for the Greek a being with godlike powers and immortality, but endowed with human virtues and vices ranging from emotions, passions, drunkenness, revenge, love, beauty, and fertility. The worship of this god has shown in the past enactments such insinuations ranging from ecstasy to terror as are common with irrational forces in mortal man, embodied in Dionysos. The Dionysos religious ceremonies, rehearsals, fire torch, parade, etc. were an exciting and all-involving national festival which came to be performed yearly. They later developed into full-fledged drama and drama contests with a more definite social forms and diverse modes. For example, because of its religious origin, Greek tragedy had attached more importance to the chorus, in which case some of the actions and ideas were left to the chorus and its leader. Later, Thespis, who in 535 BC was declared the world's first actor, had added 1 actor. Achilles, 525 to 456 BC, added a 2nd actor, and Sophocles, 497 to 405 BC, added a 3rd. The 4th century, the Greek drama originated from religion, and the performance took place in the Dionysian temple, informed the banishment of violence on stage. This is why Greek tragedy does not usually end in the death of the main characters, or in which corpses litters the stage as are common in, say, Shakespearean or Senecan theatre. Similarly, the subject matter of Greek tragedy is always serious and of magnitude. Ref. Aristotle Poetics. Medieval England. Following the collapse of the Roman Empire in 47 AD, the Christian church became vehemently opposed to the theatre. It did everything possible to destroy the theatre because it believed that the theatre had Greco-Roman and supposedly pagan connections. Ironically, the rebirth of drama nevertheless came to be traced to the church in the Middle Ages. The enduring impact which actual performance has on the human mind largely informed the dramatization of the church. of the resurrection during the Easter service. The officiating priest has acted the various parts, the angels, the disciples, etc. The huge success it recorded had encouraged the dramatization of plays connected with Christmas and other holy days. These were called mystery plays. Even though rustic and simple, the effect of this play on the laity audience was electrifying. The short plays, which were based strictly on the scripture, became so demanding that members of the laity were made to participate as members of the cast. The public response has been very encouraging. The prayer on the actor priest has been unprecedented. The authority in Rome intervened and directed the priests should devote their time to their primary assignment. The actor priest withdrew and left the entire cast to the laity. By this time, performance of the mystery play have moved outside, but still within the church premises, and later to the more public areas. Slightly different from the mystery plays whose themes were based on unique events in the scriptures are the miracle plays. The miracle plays, which developed shortly after the mystery play, were based on the lives of saints, showing scenes of tortures and martyrdom, or simply showing secular romance with occasional appearance of a saint or the Virgin Mary acting as Deus ex machina and performing a miracle to resolve the conflict. The morality play, the third type of drama, developed also in the medieval period. Everyman has remained the most popular in this category. It is an allegory informed by church doctrinal values, bordering on holy living as a visit to heaven or God's kingdom. Every man, the protagonist, is summoned by death. The appeal of every man to fellowship, cousin, kindred, goods, strength, discretion, 5 wits, beauty, and knowledge to accompany him to the grave fell on deaf ears. All except the frail-looking but truthful good deeds desert him. Of equal success is Pilgrim Progress by John Bunyan, which deals with the trial of a type Christian in his journey towards heaven. The interlude of farcical interlude is yet another type of play which are developed during the Middle Ages. The origin could not be easily traced. Some critics believe that it grew from the morality plays. Others think it was from the strolling plays. What is certain, however, is that the interlude is one additional step in the development of secular drama, the purpose of which is entertainment. The interlude, a playlet originally designed to be performed in between a mere serious play, later developed in Europe to assume the full stature of a farce. The story of Père Patelin, France, the clever lawyer who secures the acquittal of his client, the cheap stealer, by making him answer "ba ba" to every question, has always been exciting and will remain even so for future audiences. Indigenous Africa. Similarly, in Africa, a closer look at the religious festival provides a rather convincing evidence which seems to give credence to the position of the front ritual to drama. School. Let us take the ancestral cult and worship as an example, because the indigenous African society is largely animist. The masquerade or the ancestral cult is familiar phenomenon. The masquerade symbolizes the ancestral spirit. Masquerading, according to Ogundeji 2004 and 5, is the most common of ritual festivals in Africa. The critic explains further. During the ancestral festivals, masks of the dead fathers are brought out using theatrical effects as a means of ritual celebration. Masquerading is in addition used for purposes other than sacred or cultic function. It is, for example, used for political, judicial, and entertainment purposes. These other functions, however, are generally considered secondary. Ritual as theater, theater as ritual, 4 and 5. The significance of the Egungun festival is the visiting spirit of the ancestor. It calls for reverence and worship. There are such ceremonials as drumming, songs, dancing, acrobatic display, pouring of libations, exchange of gifts and prayers, evocatory and invocatory, ushering in the new year's blessing, prosperity, peace, etc. For all we know, the life in the masquerade dress costume could have been a relation or a common neighbor who belongs to the masquerade lineage. It is a taboo to treat him irreverently because the masquerade is a visiting ancestor. The significance and relevance of the masquerade therefore are best appreciated in the totality of its dramatic import. For example, both the common neighbors masquerading and the worshippers are consciously engaged in a game of make-believe or let us pretend. This is what drama is all about. The life inside the masquerade is a human being, not a spirit, but now they impersonates pretending to be the visiting spirit of the ancestors. His gestures, guttural voice, dress costume, and perhaps a long cane or a crutch and props qualify him as an actor, performing the role of an ancestral spirit. At the same time, the worshippers and the onlookers constitute the audience. The paraphernalia attached to the songs, dancing, drumming, spectacle, etc. are all veritable aesthetics for stage effects in the course of the unfolding action. This is usually associated with drama. It is therefore instructive to note that most cases of traditional festival in Africa, such as described above, or others like rite of passage, which involves shedding of blood of animals, ritual cleansing of societies, have always had this festival performed with enactment bordering on the spectacular and with aesthetic qualities which are comparable with any formal or conventional drama. Eid Festival in Ile-Ife and Okebadan Festival in Ibadan, both Yoruba ancient towns in Nigeria, are typical examples. Over the years, the enactments have become so overwhelming and prominent that the public is almost oblivious of the original religious intention, purposes or significance of the festivals. It is obvious that the memorable pleasure derived from such entertaining enactments is largely responsible for this general attitude. We must quickly add here that some of these traditional roles like dancing, drumming, singing, chatting, and even masquerading, which hitherto have been an exclusive preserve and significant constituents of traditional rites and religious worship, have since been employed in secular festivals and are general social functions purely for entertainment. For example, in many African countries, the services of national or state cultural troops are often engaged whenever representatives or such dignitaries as head of state are on brief state visits. The cultural troops are seen entertaining the state guests with ritual dances, masquerading, etc., without attachment to any religion rites. It is therefore believed that the secularization of this specialized constituent or traditional ritual gave rise to dramatic cultures like Etiyeri and Efe folklore tradition in some Yoruba communities, and consequently the more professionalized Alarinjo drama groups. So far, the evidence provided above are attempts to show the extent of the plausibility of the claim by critics who would view that drama had evolved from religious rites and in particular ritual enactments. Another school of thought has a divergent view, though less popular, different from the above on the origin of drama. It believes that ritual and drama grew simultaneously and independent of each other. It acknowledges that even though there are enactments in rituals, they were not intended for entertainment. In a typical indigenous African setting, for example, no true worshipper ever goes to the shrine with intention to be entertained. The so-called enactments which are integral to the worship serve a definite role of dual communication to the worshippers in general and the worship deity in particular. Ritual enactments are believed by many to have been informed by the behavioral instincts of spirits, animals, birds, and plants, etc. For example, on account of how a religious movement, Igbe, came into being is given in the Oyege folk narrative and seems to give credence to this belief. It readily provides a good illustration here. Cousin Onofeko group at Kokori town performed the narrative on this occasion. The performance was recorded and transliterated by G.G. Dara in 1974. Narrator: hear me, Adigbere, great warrior. Hear me, Digbere. Whenever you grow shorter, I too grow shorter. I too grow shorter. Chorus: oh, Adigbere. Narrator: whenever you grow taller, I too grow taller. Chorus: oh, Adigbere. Narrator: whenever you grow taller, I too grow taller. Chorus: oh, Adigbere. Narrator: soon Aruaja join in the song. Chorus: oh, Adigbere. Narrator: as Aruaran. Chorus: oh, Adigbere. Narrator: accounted himself to engage the spirit in battle. Chorus: oh, Adigbere. As in the song sequences, the chorus continues with the oh, Adigbere refrain throughout the rest of the performances. Narrator: late Reverend Ugbesha was emptying his bowels in the outskirts of the town, Kokori. By coincidence, he walked into the battle zone. There, Ugbesha witnessed Aruaran War's dance, and when he got back home, he prepared poles and built a temple at Uvevu area of Kokori. When he completed the building, he went to Kokori market to buy white chalk and a fan made from animal skin. Next morning, he started to perform the new dance. While he did this, Kokori people jeered at him, saying, "What kind of wild dance is this?" Ubesha took careful note of the remarks. The songs Aruaran sang to do battle, Ubesha appropriated them. This was the beginning of the Igbe religious movement. Whenever you grow shorter, I too grow shorter. Whenever you grow shorter, I too grow shorter. I said this was how Ubesha movement began. Whenever he performed the ritual dance, he would sit down after a dance sequence and make offering of white chalk powder. News of his healing powers reached Bini people, and they with festering sores came for treatment. Those with leprosy also came for cure. With chalk power only as medicine, old leprosies were healed in 7 days. In a week, big sores were healed. A religious movement developed from this practice. A religious movement, Aruaran gifts to Ubesha. Ubesha acquired great fame from the inheritance. Ubesha lived long and died, but this religious movement became a universal one. The initial disparaging remark made by Kokori people, the English Compendium, Volume 1 and 2, 2001, 462 to 3. Similarly, most animals or birds are attracted when they hear sounds produced by them coming from some other direction. The predictable response of the imitated animals has always been to move closer to the spot from where the sound is coming. On sighting the source of sound, if the animal or bird recognizes the source to be a human being, it is likely to behave in a friendly manner towards the human agent. The traditional snake shaman and a snake provide another good example in this regard. The shaman plays unique unbroken tunes on his flutes and makes snake-like movements and gestures that in a rather strange manner subject the viper to his will. In that single action of the shaman, we recognize the seductive potency of music via the flute, and movement enactment. The magical potency of enactment and communication becomes quite obvious in human relations. For example, the power of communication is shown where a non-indigent speaks fluently the language of a society other than his. Is likely to be more welcome and appreciated than a non-native counterpart who cannot communicate in the language of that same society. It is in the light of this that one may begin to appreciate religious enactment as a serious act of worship as conceived by the indigenous mind. In the indigenous Yoruba society, for example, beside masquerading are other traditional festivals in honor of other divinities. We must quickly add too that the masquerade spirit of the ancestors is regarded as a divinity. Other divinities include Oshun, Songo, Obatala, Oriolokun, Moremi, Yemoja, Ogun, Osain, Yemoji, Oya, etc., all associated with their respective festivals, characterized by enactment of varying degrees. Worshippers in the course of the festivals, as the Igbe religious movement, as shown above, introduce the kind of music, songs, and drums the divinity or deity is associated with, as well as cultivate specific movement or dance pattern of worship. Thus, when the songs, the drums, and dances are harmoniously engaged, the effect is predictably evocative. The spirit of the worshipped deity manifests in some of the worshippers who are possessed only in the process of active participation in the religious enactment. While describing the paraphernalia and the action of the protagonist, Shango's medium, Elegun Shango, in the course of Sango worship, Ogundeji 2000, informs the Elegun Shango, that is Sango's medium, would put on the full costume of Shango's character with Gberi Shango, Shango's vest, on top of the red yen, Shango's skirt, on which flaps of leather called Wab Shango are attached. The special eartho of Shango known as Osha Shango is worn, and he has the Oja Shango, Shango's girdle, on with the Laps Shango, Shango's bag, strung across his chest. He holds an hand props and Oshe Shango, Shango's dancing wand, a carved double-edged axe, and a Shere Shango, Shango's god rattle. Though the personal name of the Elegun as impersonator may be Tadeojo or Shango Tadeojo, at the same time of performance he becomes and is addressed simply as Shango. He dances at that moment to the Bata music and answers to Shango's Oriki praise poetry. He performs many magical feats such as fire spitting, insertion of a long needle into his eyes, cutting off his tongue, and carrying a pot of fire in his bare hands. All this indicates the supernatural character and metaphysical knowledge of Shango. He moves up and down the arena of performance, Oju Agboire, while Shango praise poetry is chanted by members of the chorus, to whom he stretches the Oshe Shango repeatedly, thanking them with the statement Osheun, thank you, from which the Oshe derives its name. All these actions, movements, dance, costumes, and properties, together with the panegyric chants of Shango and the response statement, are the determining factors that the person who can be male or female is impersonating Shango. 7 are parentheses. This is also true of most religions of the world. The distinguishing features of ritual theatre, according to Ogundeji, include the ritual events in the festival usually manifest dramatic and theoretical features in various kinds and degrees. Some of the features are not as prominent or developed as we have them in the Western influenced modern theatre and drama. The dramatic or literary aspects of the ritual displays are, for example, greatly limited. Dialogue in most of the ritual displays is highly restricted. Where it occurs, it is usually in the statement and response from, or question and answer, or litanic structure. Communication among the performer on the one end and between the performers and audience on the other is enhanced through music, chants, songs, drumming, dancing, acrobatics, and miming. The mythological background that foregrounds the plot is also not usually elaborate. It is mainly symbolically expressed in mime and dance, and its sequence is usually episodic. 5. The argument of this school of thought becomes all the more verifiable to the degree that lyric traditions do exist, particularly in non-literate African and even now that are neither religions nor secularized rituals, and which exploit to the fullest the resources of drama. Storytelling, praise or heroic chanting, and the epic narrative performance are some examples in this category. They are meant to act as an agent of socialization involving any or all of the following: a celebration of the society's greatness as embodied in the monumental achievement of its past heroes; pontificative agents of moral values as seen in tricksters' characters; a reaction of societal vision and means of achieving the same. We can therefore conclude that drama as pure entertainment has its roots in such performance and not in religion enactments. Going by the divergent views of the two schools, it is apparent that neither is totally wrong. At the same time, neither could claim absolute correctness. The two views are largely complementary to the degree that whereas classical Greek drama can be traced to Dionysian rites, the same cannot be said of medieval English drama. Regardless of official claims, it is true, though, that the bulk of medieval English plays have their source or origin traceable to the church. There have been existed at that same time some traditional strolling players. The strolling player belonged to an earlier generation of drama outside the church. For curious reasons, however, they were hardly acknowledged in existing popular chronicles. We consider the medieval English drama incomplete without its mention because it provides a clue to the possibility of drama originating in the English society of the Middle Ages outside of the church. There is, however, an obvious convergence of the differing views. For instance, drama as imitated action, as we know, is today as a hybrid form traceable to sacred as well as secular enacted acts. It reinforces more or less Aristotle's claim that drama could be traced to two sources: imitation and the pleasure derived from imitated action. Man is believed to be the most imitative of all living creatures. That is why there is usually a way by which conventional drama involves and affects the audience. Such an affective experience is similar to the way religious enactments involve and affect the spirit of a deity or a god during worship. At the same time, conventional drama as entertainment gives memorable pleasure to the audience the way a strictly secular traditional performance does. End of study section 1. Thanks for listening.